kite's not flying right.
Alright guys, I'm down here at the marina with Tony Jetland, and he is also known to Martinez as the Kite Guy.
Kite Man.
Kite Man, excuse me.
Martinez, because you can Google that, Kite Man of Martinez, and it comes up. Well, you know, just like any kid, you start flying when you're a kid. Then I had about a 20 or 30 year hiatus. I got back into it, I don't know, 21 years ago. Flying, I started flying the dual line sport kites for Prism Kites out of Seattle, and started working for the kite shop in Pier 31.
Oh, okay.
And working weekends, working for kites, and got to know the owner really well. And I started being one of his instructors. So I travel the country, going to different kite festivals, teaching people how to fly two-line sport kites for the last 18 years.
Wow.
Well, when you put a two-line sport kite in your hands, you're flying a kite. Okay, big deal. But you choreograph routines and tricks, and you set it to music, and now it becomes competitions. And you can have individual competitions, pairs competitions, just like ice skating, I tell people. Even team competitions with dual lines or even up to 4-line quad kites. And they're very intricate routines, and some of them are just amazing. I never did that.
Got it.
Because then all of a sudden you take a hobby that I used to de-stress and have fun for my own enjoyment,
right?
Now you turn it into a job. When I go to festivals all over the country and now all over the world, they have these big inflatable kites.
Yep.
To basically draw people in and have attractions to them, to say, hey, there's something going on here. I've had people come off the Benicia Bridge when I'm flying my big stuff wanting to know what's going on over here because they think it's some sort of a festival going on. I said, no, it's just me flying. So about 6 years ago, I got what I thought was a big kite, which was 2 square meters. Now I'm up to 110 square meters.
Wow.
Which is about, to translate, it's about 1,200 square feet. And I tell people my house is 1,250 square feet, so then I tell people it's a bathroom and a closet smaller than my house.
See the emotion on your face, you're having a ball.
Oh, heck yeah. Chance to go out and fly the big stuff and meet people and fly. So I've been flying the big stuff for about 6 years, and because I started flying the big stuff, I've got some really unique pieces. Some of people know my big dragon, my big green dragon that I have. It's made by a friend of mine in Germany, and there's at that time there was 15 of them in the world. And he's been making these, matter of fact, he made this kite here, my Tweety Bird. Anyways, he's been making the big show kites for 20 years. And when I bought the dragon, he said, this kite will put you on the map. And I thought, well, that's kind of arrogant for him to say, but it's true. Because of that dragon, I've been to China for 4 different kite festivals. I've been to Funnel, Denmark for a kite festival. I went to Saudi Arabia to fly for the Crown Prince.
Oh, wow.
That was scary. I went to Dubai, and I even went to India for a commercial. They wanted my green dragon in a Ford EcoSport commercial.
Wow.
So I got paid a lot of money to fly all the way over to India and come back in 5 days.
Wow.
Oh, kite flying's been around for a couple hundred years. Everybody knows the story of Benjamin Franklin studying electricity with the key in the jar and all that stuff. And they had to get a cable across Niagara Falls from the United States to Canada. Well, how do you get this massive cable from here to the other side of Niagara Falls? Somebody came up with an idea about getting a kite, putting it on a long kite line and flying the kite over Niagara Falls. They ran a line across it, attached it to a bigger line, attaching it to a bigger line, and then ultimately to run cables across.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. During World War II, they needed radio communication. The French came up with this, looks like a box kite with wings. It's called a canard. Anyways, back then they only had AM radio signals. They didn't have FM signals. Here's a little geeking out. FM signals will curve to the earth. AM signals are line of sight. They go straight.
Got it.
So what they had to do is they had to get a really tall antenna up in the sky in a war field. So what did they do? They got these French kites, and they attached a long wire to them, and they flew them up there about a couple hundred feet. So there's a couple 100-foot antenna, so they can increase their radio communications.
Huh.
And if they got shot down, nobody cared, because it's just like run up another kite, run up here another antenna, and then that way they can communicate to the Allies. Kites are not just fun; it's for construction. They were used for communication during wartime. I use them for fun.
How big is your collection?
Oh, I get that asked a lot. I stopped counting at about 250 kites. There's something about getting a bunch of material, cutting them into patterns, sewing them together, putting sticks in it, putting a stick on it and going, It flies. I made that. Come on down to the Martinez Marina. It's becoming quite the kite mecca. It's not just me. There's my friend Greg and Stan and ladies over there with kites. And you know, get out of the house. Get away from the electricals.
Right.
And come on out and, you know, enjoy the day. Just come out and say hi, you know.
How often are you out here?
Well, I try to be out here on Sundays because I usually work on Saturdays.
Got it.
So today is an anomaly because you asked me to.
Right.
And I was more than happy to come out and talk to the kids.
Appreciate it.
The things that kites have done for me personally, James, is, first, as a great example is I never would have met you if I didn't fly kites.
Right.
Saturday, I was asked by a lady here locally if I would fly kites for her 4-year-old's birthday. I said, great, not a problem. I flew up the kites Saturday, and she introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Dave Hanna. I'm going, who's Dave Hanna? He's the grandson of John Muir. And I had the most intriguing, intimate conversation with Dave, and he showed me his grandfather's gravesite. It's like, here's lies John Muir, and I went, holy smokes. I never would have had that experience if I didn't fly kites. I've met the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. I mean, I've met some of the most amazing people, literally all over the world, the Chinese, Japanese, people from Portugal, Italy, Germany, the Netherlands. Literally all over the world, I've made friendships. Oh, it's incredible. When you get into India, I mean, talk about a culture that is rabid about their kite flying. They have a 2-week national festival in January. It's like the first 2 weeks of January, they have a national festival where they shut down the whole country. And it's all these Indian fighting kites, and they're fighting from rooftops, where what they try to do is, they're little, like, square kites, anyways, and they're on single line. And it's the proverbial glass line. They put ground glass onto the lines. What you try to do is you try to cross your opponent's lines and cut their line and watch their kite fly off. And they lost. And you go flying after somebody else's kite. But what you see is fun is you see pictures of whole cities where I have the little houses on top of each other, little block houses, and you have all these people standing on top of their houses, putting lines out for 500, 600, 700, almost about 1,000 feet, cutting people's lines from blocks away, and see like 5,000 to 6,000 of these kites in the sky, and they're all trying to cut each other out of the sky.
Wow.
And they have ceremonies with all the pomp and pageantry and parades and presentations. It's a culture, it's a way of life. On this setup here, the kite up at the top is called a sled. That's actually the kite. Okay. It creates lift by air. It's like a plane of a wing of an airplane. It creates lift by the amount of air or wind going underneath the foil.
Got it.
And it creates the lift. Tweety here is what we call an inflatable or line laundry. It's not actually a kite, because if I take it off that line, he'll come down. He's not really stable.
Kind of like when I first showed up, it was all over.
He needs something to kind of keep him up in the sky and kind of keep him pointed in the right direction.
Got it.
But the actual kite is the one above it. So that's the one that creates the lift and creates the pull. And right now he's giving a little bit of a pull, but he's basically kind of steering Tweety to say, here, stay here. Don't go over here. And kind of keeps him where he's supposed to be most of the time. Sometimes Tweety has his own mind and likes to go his own way, but that's the way kites are.
Hey everyone, James Boyce, your STEM choice for the day, here to show you how to do 3D modeling for our project today based on kites. Go to myfuture.net, click on Programs, go to the Media Making section, and we're going to jump down to 3D Designer. Now, with 3D Designer, we're going to be using a free software called Tinkercad. You will have to make an account to use it, so get your parents' permission and help to make an account before you get started. If you don't have a computer, you may use your phone or tablet and download the Tinkercad app with permission and follow along there as well. So we're going to start with Tinkercad 101. I want you to watch these videos here on how to split objects in Tinkercad and what is CAD. Once you make your way down to step 3, you're going to complete a project, and the projects are at the bottom of the Learn page. Choose one or complete them all. Once you complete them all, move forward a little bit till you get to the airplane part where we start designing an airplane. But you have to do the Learn part first to learn how to use the Tinkercad software. I'm signed in, and this is my 3D design area here. We also have circuits, code blocks, which is new, and lessons. Now, the lessons here are all the tutorial ones that you've already done. You have align it, group it, size it up, rotate it, move it, view it, place it, learn the moves. I'm going to go back to 3D Designs, and I'm going to select Create a New Design. And what I'm going to do is try to move quickly through this project, making an airplane. So at some parts I will narrate, other parts I will not narrate. So we're going to time lapse this so you can see this process. It won't go too fast where you can't see what's going on. So let's have some fun. This is my plane. You may base your design based off mine, or you may make your own based on what you think a plane should look like. And you may base your plane based off a real plane like the Red Barons, or something like a modern fighter jet. It's your time to design, it's your time to create something. Make it unique, make it yours. So at this point here, I'm basing my plane off a biplane, like the Red Baron, but the Red Baron had a triplane. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search Red Baron plane. Now when I search Red Baron plane, it's going to give us the history of the Red Baron, but if I go to images, it will show us the Red Baron's plane. So notice how the plane here is a triplane. There are supports for the wings. There are also supports for the wings here. There are wheels. We have the tail area. Now, this is our reference for us to look at and create. Something I want you to notice is how I'm reusing a lot of the shapes that are already here on my model. Not doing it every single time, but I'm doing it a lot. Now how I'm moving both is I'm holding Alt and then I'm clicking one of those boxes and moving it. That's how I'm doing both at the same time to keep it symmetrical. When you're done, I want you to go to Tinkercad, and in this section, I want you to hit upload, and I want you to log in and upload your plane or a screenshot of your plane to this area here. What you can also do is you can press export, and you can select everything in the design, and if you want it to be 3D printed or have it submitted for us to look at for 3D printing, select S.T.E.M and submit the S.T.E.M file, or you may email this S.T.E.M file to my email with parent permission at jboyce@bgccontracosta.org. I will get them together, the staff and I will look over them, and based on the top 10, we will print the top 10. That's it for this part. Let's get back to the outro.